Welcome everyone to the first ever Jimber Podcast. Today I'm joined with Jonas, our CTO and co-founder of Jimber, and we have quite some things to talk about. First of all, why are we doing these podcasts? Then, second, we'll go over our new version of Jimber SASE, which was released just this Sunday, and then we'll also go into a demo provided by Jonas. So, Jonas, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Glad to be here. It's cool that we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. Why are we having these podcasts?
Well, we thought it was a new and exciting way to show our product, show the new features that we have, go over the functions, and that way we can inform our partners, inform our customers of what we are doing in a more modern way and in a more easy way, which is nicer than just to send them a document with some information.
True. I think it'll be also much more engaging for the people to look at. But will we only be covering technical things, or will we go beyond that?
No, we'll definitely go beyond it. The idea is that we'll have podcasts about the product itself, about the technical functionalities, but also about hacking in general, about the culture at Jimber, having some interviews with our analysts, looking at a roadmap of our product, things like that. So we'll just go very broad and see where we go.
All right, exciting stuff. So if you guys want to keep in the know of what's going on at Jimber, what we're doing, how we're improving the product, how we are living the life here at Jimber, follow along on this journey. It's promising to be very exciting. So a new version, Jonas, 1.17. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, sure. So we launched 1.17, which is a follow-up for 1.15. You can see there's a skipped version over there. We
just about to say.
Yeah, we had some issues in the release process of 1.16, so we decided to skip it and stick to the quality, make sure that the product is really good. And now we have 1.17 live, which has a whole bunch of new features, updates, and things like that. So we're really glad that we made it, that it's live, and we're excited about the improvements that we have.
All right, so a whole lot of improvements going on in 1.17. Which would be the two biggest improvements, you'd say?
I'd say for 1.17, the biggest improvements are policies, which is a refined version of setting access control, and then also the secure mode exceptions, in which we can allow exceptions for our secure mode.
All right.
As the name says it, yeah.
All right, so you said secure mode sounds like a very important one for security. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, maybe it's nice that I first give some short explanation about what secure mode is, so that all of our viewers are in touch with it. So the idea with secure mode is that as soon as you enable it, the user or any user on the network, any resource on the network cannot no longer access the endpoint through the normal physical network.
All right.
All of the communication has to go through the Jimber overlay, the secure network.
Okay.
That way, if you put all of your servers, all of your endpoints in secure mode, you are 100% sure that all of your data flow is being encrypted. It's going through the secure network. It's microsegmented. So you have a big leap in security, and one of the problems with secure mode in the past was that for some reasons secure mode was not enabled, or you were not able to use secure mode because you still needed some communication on the physical network. And right now with the exceptions, you can really set an exception so that, for instance, if you have a server that accepts let's say HTTP traffic, but it also through the overlay network, or the secure network, but it also has to do DHCP on the physical network. You can make an exception so that it will still work on the physical network, but all of the other inputs are blocked.
Okay.
Just to be clear, also, secure mode is always about inputs. It's never about traffic going out.
Okay, all right. So making it much more secure again for everybody using the platform. Now, second, you talked about policies. That's also a big thing, if I'm not mistaken. So please walk us through that one.
Yeah. So in the past, we had three separate screens of defining security policies, rules, access controls, you name it. And it's all been merged into one single
All right.
single screen where you can configure the whole policies stuff now. So the idea is, the general idea of the product is that if you use the product, it should be as simple as possible. It should be maintainable. It should be easy to use. So that's really our vision, and that's what we work towards. And having 3 separate screens, it was just a bit confusing. Like you had to explain, it's better not use that one for that case. It's better to use this one. So that was very confusing. So we all merged into one screen. You will have less rules. It will be easier to use in general for our customers, our partners, and chances of making mistakes is also much lower that way.
All right, so big improvements security-wise, also user-wise, making it much more easy for the users. Now, talking about all of this is all really nice and stuff, but I think that people really would like to see it in action, the new things. So could we go to a demo, Jonas?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. Yeah. Let me share my
Let's
screen,
go.
and then we can see how it all works. Okay, so this is my company right now, which is called Amenity. It's just for demo purposes. You can see that I have some servers online right here. This is our demo server. The demo server is just a Windows server that I onboarded,
Right.
just to have something that we can play with. Would we start with policies or with the secure mode exceptions?
Let's go with the exceptions.
Okay, sure. So if I click the server itself, then on the edit button, then you can see that this screen is a little bit updated. We did some facelifting, so it looks a bit nicer. And you can see that here there's like a new screen or a new card that says secure mode exceptions. You can add exceptions there. You can see that secure mode is enabled. If you disable it, it will not have any effect. But you can just add the exceptions right here. Now let's go back to the example that I gave you just before, with the DHCP server. So let's say that this is a server where you have a web server online, and then you also want to do DHCP, but on a physical network, not on the overlay network. So you just add an exception, you put in the ports, just as you would with the other services, as you know from the other screens. For DHCP, if I'm not mistaken, you need port 53 over I think UDP and TCP. I'm not sure if it's both, but let's just configure both. You click the submit button, and right now the server itself will accept traffic from port 53, TCP and UDP.
Right.
And it will only accept that. It will just ignore all of the rest. If someone is trying to ping it or whatever, it will never respond. And if you configure other access rules to the new policies, then it will also respond to those, but over the secure overlay network.
Okay.
So this way, you can, for instance, this is an example with a DHCP server. But let's say that you have a web server somewhere running in the cloud. You just give it. You need SSH access to manage it, but you want to be sure that any user on the internet cannot access it through SSH. Obviously, you don't want them brute forcing your server or whatever.
Big security risks.
You just put in secure mode. You add an exception for port 80 and 443 for HTTP and HTTPS traffic. Boom, everything is secured. They cannot access it on any other port. You can still go through SSH if you configure the right policies, of course. Everything is zero trust. And any of your teammates, your administrators, they can just access it through SSH. But you are very sure that it can never be accessed from the public internet.
All right. Amazing. Well, second thing we'd like to have a look at are the policies, of course.
Yeah, sure. Let's open them up. So right here in this screen, you can see that there's an archive now. So we archived the 3 of our functions that we had before, the legacy way of configuring things. If you click it, you can still see the rules that you might have before. I don't really have any rules right here, but if you had them configured, you can still access them to see if you still want to get some information from them, and see how they were migrated to policies, because all of the rules that were previously configured are migrated to policies. You don't have to reconfigure.
So I haven't lost anything of my previous ones. All right, perfect.
Everything just keeps working. Now, if you go to policies, you can see I have no policies right now, and maybe I also have 2 VMs running right here, so I'll go to the VM. This is my client and this is my server. I already onboarded them. They already have DNS override configured, so I can access it. Let's go back to the server screen right here. So this is the server that I'm using right now, which is the demo server local. It has this IP address on the overlay network. It all should just work. And now if I try to ping it, since I don't have any policies, there's no other rule sets anymore, so you can just rely on policies right now. I shouldn't be able to ping it, so let's just start running a ping. And you can see that it doesn't ping. Also, I can, since I have DNS override, I can also, let me check the name, I already forgot it. It's just demo server local. So you can see that it's also usable using the DNS override, so I can just use the DNS name. If I put the T flag, then it will keep pinging, and now we can configure a policy to allow the ping, and then it will just work. So I go back to the security, I go to policies, and I click create policies. Now you see this is a whole new screen. It's very simple. You define the services, you define the sources, you define the destinations. And then the last part is service entries. Let's talk about that later. So in the services, you can add, for instance, what we want to do now is ICMP. The idea is that you have the services configured. I already created the ICMP service. It's also a template, so it's very easy to add it.
It's easy to use,
I add a source. As a source, I can use anything right now. So in the past, the only thing that you could use is a group. Right now, you can use anything. You can use like a user. You can use a user device. You can use a server. You can use an IAC. You can just anything that you want. You can still use a group, of course, which is very easy. If you want to add like 10 servers to one group, you don't want to have 10 sources over there. But for instance, if you just want to give one user access to a resource, you no longer have to create a group first, put a user in a group, and it was a bit cumbersome sometimes, and right now it's very easy. So,
like security-wise, it's still as secure as before?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. All of the checks are still on identity of the user, on the keys that we use. So all of the security is just kept. Now let's add a user. So I was using the demo user, so I can use just the user as a source right now. Voila, it's in there, and then I add the destination, which is my demo server. And now I have my rule set, and this rule set should allow ICMP. Now I also have to give it a name, so just say allow ICMP demo. I submit the rule set, and it should start pinging right now. And there it is, like instantly it starts working. You can add multiple services as well. So if you, for instance, want to add the web service, not sure if it's configured here, HTTP and HTTPS. I can just add it in, and boom, you also allow HTTP and HTTPS for that user. You can play around with the services, sources, destinations, so it's very easy to use, and it's much more compact. The number of rules, if you have bigger companies, it will be much lower, because you can combine more of the functionality just in one group.
So again, even for bigger companies, it's much easier to manage than other solutions might be. Something we really work on to make it as easy to use as possible for our users, of course.
Yes, indeed.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. Now, we've had 2 big chunks. Jonas, is there anything else that we need to talk about in this update?
Yeah, well, I did promise to talk about service entries, which are still open right here. So I'll just give a brief introduction to it. The service entries were already usable before, but there was always some confusion about it because you had to define it in your service, and it was a bit weird. Right now, it's integrated into the policies, which is much nicer. It makes much more sense. And what it does is that you can add a service entry in here, so you can give it a name. That's the name that the user will see. Keep that in mind. So let's say this is some web administrator, so we call it web admin. You can choose an action. For now, we only have open website, but we'll expand it with a lot of other actions as soon as possible. And then you can fill in an address of the server itself, which can be, for instance, here demo server.local / let's say just it needs / web admin. You submit this one, and right now, if the user goes to his security panel, he will see it as an entry, and he can click it.
Yeah.
So that's a very easy way to work. Let me check if I can show it to you as well. So this is the tray icon of Jimber that the user has, and right there he can click on the security panel, and then the security panel opens. This VM is a little slow, but it should open.
I'm sure it will.
And yeah, the cool thing about it is that if users open their security panel, they only see the services that we really have access to. So they don't have
nothing
to,
else.
Yeah.
Really
as soon as you revoke the access to there it is. As soon as you revoke the access to one of the services of the user itself,
it won't be visible for them.
It won't be visible anymore. They just have an overview of the service that they have. It's not something that you have to use as a partner, but something that you can use. So,
I can imagine that it's easy if you have someone at an end customer starting new and he doesn't really know where to go, what do I need or what do I have access to. He just clicks open the security panel and there he has a nice overview of, all right, I need to go there and there and there. All right, great. Looks good. So great.
Yeah, I think we made a very big step with that one. We still have some other new features in the new version, like DNS monitoring, things like that. Yeah. Well, maybe we can talk about it.
We can talk about it in another time. So stay tuned for more. But I think this is great stuff. I think people should really look at our new version, play around on the platform, see what's changed. If they have questions, they can always reach out through support@jimber.io or through the support number, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Partners have access to our support.
Perfect. So guys, please do reach out to us if you have any questions. We're at your disposal. You have Dennis who is at your disposal. So any question you might have, please do let us know. And yeah, we love to hear from you guys. What do you think about the new version? So with that, let's wrap up our first ever podcast episode. Jonas, thank you so much for your time today, explaining us the new version, showing us around on the platform a little bit, and thank you for joining us today. We'll see you again in the next episode.
Okay, thanks.